Dips from John O'Hara's Fact and Folklore. Away back in the early 1930s, when the Great Depression was so bad people joked about it because there was nothing else they could do, a shrewd Waynesburg dairyman, Frank Bryan, started parlaying surplus milk into one of the town's best bits of folklore. Milk was more plentiful then than the people could buy. First, he tried giving it back to farmers to fatten their pigs, but he still had more than he could use, so he got the idea that maybe people would rather eat milk than drink it. As a result, he bought an ice cream machine, and since the highest paid banker in town was only getting $5,000 a year, and many others had no money at all, Bryan became the first man in town to come up with the idea of a double dip. Although the price was only a nickel, the dips were big ones, and a customer could have a choice of a dozen different flavors, mixed or straight. The multiple dips soon became triple and occasional quadruple dips among the teenage set, and the quality of the ice cream could only be described by the word exquisite, which it truly was. The word that you can get a double dip cone at Bryan's Dairy spread through Waynesburg faster than Paul Revere's warning that the British are coming reached the people in Lexington and other New England towns. Scarce as money was, however, most people could still scrape up a nickel or two now and then, and soon the path to Bryan's Dairy became worn harder than the world ever made to a man making a better mousetrap. Gasoline was still selling for a quarter and often less a gallon, and shortly, driving down to Bryan's from Main Street or Hallbrook for a couple cones became a sort of daily ritual for young lovers, family groups, and clusters of neighbors who were tired of sitting around the house. For literally hundreds, yes, maybe thousands of Greene Countyans, it was their most pleasant way of socializing during the summer months, and with only a few percentage points difference between that and loafing along Counter 7 at Murphy's on Saturday nights. Such a bargain was too good not to get spread around, and soon the word trickled over into adjoining Washington and Fayette counties and across the Mason-Dixon line into northern West Virginia. The out-of-county patrons were the Sunday afternoon specials at Bryan's, where sometimes it was necessary to have extra traffic cops to handle the jam of cars clustered around the oasis that sprung up in the Depression desert for an inexpensive and wholesome break in the day-to-day struggle of making ends meet. The loyalty of its patrons never swerved, even though the first tongues of inflation made it necessary to double the original price of a double dip to a dime and gradually to some 6 or 7 times that price later on. The Bryan family's first member in Waynesburg was James Bryan Sr., who came here from Scotland to work on the former Sayers Dairy Farm in the late 1890s. 3 generations have followed in his path. From all standpoints, Bryan's Dairy and its fine ice cream and cottage cheese, its most popular products, was a successful business enterprise. But in a community sense, it was an even greater achievement in the manner it helped thousands of its patrons, past and present, to endure the adversities of a depression and to enjoy in even greater measures the wholesome products of an inflationary economy in which the high quality remained as a constant as the sun by day and the stars by night, especially when it was the same generous-sized double dip from Bryan's in Waynesburg.